I got another cat. It is apparently titled as a 67. These fenders, I don't believe, are original, of course, 68ers. But it does have dual torque boxes, and I haven't found a VIN tag up here, but with all the fender tinkering, who knows. Usually the 68s and up, I think, are supposed to have that stamped right there in that little step down, but anyway, who knows. It's a neat car, and I got it with a pile of parts. I actually got this and enough parts to fill up that van, and I actually had to even have a few things on the roof. Came with a couple doors, 2 front fenders, an extra back glass, like boxes and boxes of another interior, 5 bumpers, of which probably 2, maybe 3 are usable, 2 to 3 extra grills and taillight sets, which is, just fun. So who knows what the history is, but I've taken the time to pull all the parts and stuff out of it, and I actually came through with a leaf blower and blew the whole thing out. So it's got its issues, overall these fenders that are on here are pretty nice. Got a little bit of issue in the torque boxes. I'm embellishing a little bit, I guess, but it came with a full floor pan set, so I'm not too worried about having to repair, and I don't know if you put the seat here, but there's a whole seam of holes up here eaten through. There's back and everything. This was fixed at some point with some galvanized, or maybe that's not, I don't even know, it's just riveted in there. But all the typical normal places. I took a little time and got the doors working. Came with extra handles and everything else. But it turned out this side, which wouldn't latch, just needed a spring on the assembly. So then worked it around, got a bunch of white lithium in there, hooked everything up, adjusted it, and yeah, so that works. The other side, similar but no missing parts. But anyway, at this point, gonna do a couple of the big things and what's gonna make me make decisions here. So if I get the title, I have so little in it, and I like to do the rough and tumble, make it run driver kind of stuff. I might save it. I'll fix this too, and actually that hole is starting to tear, so I did a quick sheet metal repair there. Quick and dirty both. But wanted to show one of the most common things to look out for in muscle cars like this, and I guess it's a pony car, but whatever. Whenever you're getting them and they have floor pan issues, yeah, floor pans, they all rust out for the obvious reasons. Splash in the bottom, holding liquid and stuff. If your rear, leaks, or really anywhere leaks, then there you go. And one of the things here, if you're always getting puddles in this area, we had a small, gentle like rain this morning. Well, anyway, what that means is that I have cowl problems. So underneath of this, which can't be removed through conventional means, you've got to drill out down, sorry, the lighting is bad, under this entire seam here, get all the seam sealer off, drill out the very, very frequent pinch welds. And then under here, there's, I wonder if you can see it. No, you can't quite, it's just a bunch of crud, but there's a couple cup style like thingies that are supposed to let it breathe, but also direct the water out. And so these are very noticeably on the puddle in there, rotted out. So that's a big job for most people. For me to just do it in the shop isn't really going to take as much, but would cost, I can only assume $1,000 or more to pay someone to do. So for me, I'll fix that. Dog, why are you barking? Dog's being crazy. But anyway, yeah, for me, it's just time, and I enjoy doing it. So I think I might do the floor panels, the cowl, get the fenders right, put the front end back together, bending all of this out, takes time. Might have to do some goofy fab, well, not goofy, but some unconventional fab work to get everything solid, lined up and everything up here, but I'm sure we can get through it. But yeah, it'd be a neat little screamer. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. You know, I've got 2 good seats. I've got most of the core of what you need for a rat roddy interior. Get the whole thing sanded down in the body. You know, all of the random holes, both of the rear, you know, back behind the fender, need to be totally cut out. So I don't know if I'm going to do whole quarters, but, you know, get all that repaired enough. Do the basic quick and dirty body work, and then, you know, matte black maybe. Something like that. So those are the big things: title, body needs, and then here's another problem. So it hasn't run, at least, you know, when you see the paperwork and the glove box and everywhere else, everything kind of indicates the last time it was registered would have been like 96. So I don't know the story on the motor. It is locked up. I did what everybody does, and actually it came semi-stripped to me like this. I have the headers. I'm missing a lot of the stuff up here, but anyway, so I immediately pulled the oil filter, which was, oh my gosh, was quite a wrenching experience to get that sucker off. But, you know, the typical, want to take a look inside. So, sludgy, no doubt. It's completely disgusting. But I don't see any bearing, I don't see any glitter, I don't see any baloney. I'm pretty optimistic. And here, just bonus, this is the rotary relay for the rear tail lights. The rotary relay looks great, and it's arguably more oddball. I can do digital, but I don't want to do that yet. But yeah, took this, cleaned all the wires and everything, and some ancient silicone spray. This was sitting in the bed of a truck that I bought like 12 years ago, and the can has lasted forever. I'm sure whatever they make now isn't quite that amazing. Well, I say that. That's a negative thing to say. I bet it's every bit as good and better than how it has been. But anyway, this guy was sitting in the front floorboard, like with this up, so I'm sure this cup just filled with water in the rain. Anyway, this side won't actually even pull in enough to close the contacts. I'm guessing there's rusty schmutz in between the coil and the, you know, I guess you call it the armature. But anyway, we'll see what I can do with this. I'm not terribly optimistic, but there's nothing more than a handful of relays. I bet there's ways, considering I have the plugs and the pigtails, you know, if this is unsalvageable, to make that, you know, take that and use a handful of Bosch relays and figure it out. But yeah, this thing is nice and crisp, so I'm gonna, you know, take this apart, still clean it, you know, check the motor before I even put power on anything. But I'm optimistic, you know, no real reason to believe it's bad. But anyway, so back to the main event. Nothing bad in the oil. It was sitting just like this, kind of open. You know, I haven't pulled the valve covers off yet, but the guy said they had, and that, oh, it looked good, it might run, you know, so yeah, who knows, it might run. So about a week ago, I pulled the plugs and sprayed a whole bunch of PB Blaster in there. And what I think I'm gonna do, if I can find a low-cost oil filter, which I usually load up on cheap ones from Rock Auto, but I'll pop this off, put a filter on, and, you know, reprime the system. Dirty oil is better than no oil for unsticking, I say. And then, you know, give it another heavy squirt of like transmission fluid and whatever I got into the cylinders. And yeah, then I'll take a bar, start wiggling back and forth in the starter hole, see if I can get it freed. And if it rotates, seems like it's okay, then really I'm frankly gonna end up dressing it out, whatever you call it, and giving it a shot, because I'll see if it doesn't ticky-tack too bad, then, you know, I'm gonna keep it. I'm sure it'll smoke for a while, hopefully not too long. But the whole trans is still there, appears to be hooked in and have all its lines. I couldn't originally figure out how to get it to shift. This is broken in how it was, but I eventually pulled up this little bitty cable and then zip tied that, and then the little ratchet down there in place. But, you know, it seems to travel through the gears nicely. I haven't actually, you know, tried to roll it or anything, and a big reason for that, it's on a trailer. And one other kind of thing that, if I am gonna rat rod it, then, you know, it'll go. As of right now, it won't stop. The master cylinder is completely frozen. This is a drum brake car, so, you know, but, oh, and actually you can see now the steering ram, it's power steering. It's missing the power steering pump, but the, you know, the main important things are there. But yeah, I'll go ahead and swap out because I think it's off the shelf parts. If I buy a kit from somebody else, it's like, I don't know, $600-700. I think we're the cheapest for a disc brake conversion. It's a different kind of arm, the brake booster, the master cylinder. I'm pretty sure there's lines and stuff in most of these kits and zip ties and junk. But the then the calipers, certainly the caliper bracket, I would think would be one thing that would be maybe a little harder to find as an off-the-shelf kind of thing. You know, I'm sure there's used parts dudes out there that specialize in it. And then I think that the actual spindles are the same size for the drums and the discs, which if so, oh yeah, and come on, backing plates, forgetting things. But yeah, if so, and they're just standard parts, then I'm gonna try not to buy a kit and just go through Rock Auto and do with like standard stuff and just do a, you know, quick and dirty disc brake conversion for maybe, if I can avoid paying a premium for a kit, I'm hoping I can get the whole kit and caboodle for maybe like $400 or so. But do that. But you know, other than a handful of things with every system, you know, a lot of it's there and it's not too bad. You know, stuff like this, I could, you know, whip something up and place the edge of this lip. You know, like I said, do some of the hard body stuff. Whether it's because I only have one set of the relays, so they're going to my 68 for the tail lights. But, you know, I'm thinking I might make a controller because I have extra sets of these, and these are already damaged, and there's paint all over them, which is absurd. I might kind of gut the framework out of these and try and put together an addressable LED matrix. I think that'd be pretty ridiculous. And there's some pretty easily available programs out there online. So if I feel froggy, this thing could end up becoming a very interesting little rat rod. But you know, time will tell. Certainly easier to get a project than finish a project.